We're all set. Yep. You do.
So this is mostly for them.
You can go.
Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Intro to the Nervous System. This is a workshop that I must have done this workshop 20 times, and I love it. You know, it's sort of like our introduction and kind of really understand what it is that we're all doing. Right? So we're gonna, and again, you know, we'll be here for less than a half hour. And my hope and prayer is that after this half hour, you feel like, oh, that was really worth it. So the name of this workshop is called Your Bodies and the Wisdom. It's also called the Intro to the Nervous System. I've also called it the Why. But either way, I have a question for everybody. And I want you to think about it, everybody who's out in Zoom land. And the question is, who wants to be healthy? Who here wants to be healthy? You want to be healthy?
Yes.
You want to be healthy?
Yes.
You want to be healthy?
Yes.
All right, we all want to be. Do you want to be healthy? Yes. So we all want to be healthy. Everybody, nobody says no to that, right? But now the question is, what does that mean? What does it mean to be healthy? What does it mean to you?
To feel good and to be good.
To feel good. Oh, I never said to be good. Right? So being good is like not being bad. Doing good things.
It means your body is good, and
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to know it, but it is good.
That you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm saying, it's like you could think you're healthy and you may not be healthy, but I'm saying it'd be nice to know that you are healthy, feel healthy, and are healthy.
Got it. All right. Anybody else have what it would mean to them to be healthy?
To have energy and sleep well and feel good.
Yeah. Energy, sleep well, sense of well-being, to feel good. All right. For you?
To be able to do things and have, I like the energy thing.
I like
Something
the energy thing too. I actually always have lots of energy. It's usually not a problem for me, even when I don't have sleep. But energy, right? Like kids. You have kids have energy?
Yeah.
Do we need to not have energy as we get older? How about freedom? All right, like since I hurt my wrist, I don't have the freedom. I can't ride a bike, I can't lift weights, I can't do this, I can't do that. Right? Does anybody want to be limited in what they want to do?
No.
No.
People, as they get older, they feel like, oh, I can't do that anymore. No, we want to keep on doing what we want to do. You want to keep dancing, right? How old are you going to be when you stop dancing?
Hopefully, 100 plus.
100 plus, right? How old am I going to be a chiropractor? I'm going to be walking around with a walker. So now the quote ends. So we said, what is health? So, what do the experts say health is? So, the World Health Organization says physical, mental, emotional well-being, not just the absence of disease and infirmity. So, you know, a lot of times you hear people say, well, if you're not sick, then you're healthy. Right? Well, that's not saying that. That's saying, no, you could not be sick, but walk around like, you know, low energy, you don't want to do it, you know. Or how about, you know, you're not sick, but your relationships in your life suck. Is that healthy?
The thing I heard today was that people that are really lonely, it's like them smoking 10 cigarettes. So that on the radio today.
Right. So that's a real big, and how it affects your immune system. real big question about how COVID was handled. We'll talk about that another time. Sometimes I think that won't harm that good. Anyway, we're not going down that direction today. So, but well-being is something that you could feel better and better and better. And what we're going to be talking about today is the choices that you can make so you have a greater sense of well-being. You know, people say, oh, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, you might have woke up on the wrong side of the bed because you had a fight with your husband the night before, and you had a nightcap of 3 scotches. You're going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And then you wake up in the morning and have some, you know, frosted flakes and right? You're going to feel great after that. Dawn's Medical Dictionary. And that's like the big shot. Medical Dictionary, an ability of an organism to adapt to its environment. All right, what's that?
Being able to deal with change.
All right, so would we all agree as adults here that a lot of stuff goes on in our life that's beyond that?
Definitely.
All right. And could we all agree that stuff happens to everybody?
Yeah.
All right. So if that's the case, would you say that it's not what happens to us because stuff happens to everybody? Is that how we deal with it?
Yes.
So does that make sense? The ability of an organism to adapt to its environment. It's that ability to adapt to those changes in our life that makes a difference. All right. Now the thing is that we're adapting and responding every second. Right? We touch something hot, we get a message up our arm, up our neck to our brain sends a message back down to our arm, to our arm over. That's adaptation and response. Okay? Adaptation and response, just the messages it takes from the brain to the body, and the body back to the brain, back and forth, just to stand upright is a miracle. Probably millions, if not trillions of messages going back and forth at the speed of light, back and forth, just so we could do this. We don't even know what's happening, right? Ligaments are tightening, so loosening, muscles are tightening, muscles are loosening, right? All different things happening in our brain, with the stimulus centers of our brain, right? And then when we start walking, wow, incredible. Right? Start walking. More messages back and forth, and we start walking faster and faster. What happens? How do we adapt and respond once we start walking really fast? You always say it.
You start breathing faster, your heart starts pumping faster.
Right. We need more oxygen, we need more blood. So the body sends a message, yo, brain, we need more blood pumping through the body. Body sends a message back to the heart. Hey, stop pumping faster. All right, that's adaptation and response. And hopefully our heart is flexible and adaptable enough to be able to deal with that pumping, right? If it's not, we can't adapt and respond. We end up with what? A heart attack. We weren't able to adapt and respond. This is all happening through our nervous system. Our digestive system, you eat a slice of pizza, right? Taste buds, pizza. Send a message to the brain. Yo, brain, pizza. Pizza sends a message back to the brain. Yo, stomach, we need special enzymes to digest cheese and red sauce and pepperonis. And the stomach goes, oh man, I don't know if you can do the pepperonis. I'm out of that enzyme. All right. As you get older, right? So we're constantly adapting and responding to everything we do. And how about probably the most important thing in our life is what? Our relationships. Do we adapt and respond when we talk to people? Constantly. Right? Like, do you work with a lot of people in the spectrum? Like you do, right? Some of them are, some of them not. People on the spectrum aren't able to read other people the same way, and not able to adapt and respond the same way. So they probably don't have as healthy relationships. You know, So, you know, it's constantly adaptation response. So this is what this safety pin is. This illustrates adaptation and response. So this is the brain, this is the body, and the brain sends messages to the body, and the body sends messages to the brain. And this goes back and forth constantly, right? And then when we have subluxations, we're not able to adapt the response. You know, a clear way of looking at it, the truth is that the subluxations cause us to go more into the stress response, the fight or flight. And we all agree when we're more in the stress response to the fight or flight that we have a hard time adapting and responding to stress.
Yes.
So it's not just like the certain nerve that goes, you know, it's the whole body isn't working the way it should. It's in that stress response. Now, we're going to go talk about something else. Can your health be degenerating and you still don't have any symptoms?
Yes.
Yes. I've had two cousins find out that they have stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Right? It took years for that to happen. Prematurely, right? Well, you know, 30% of the people who die of heart attacks have absolutely no idea there's anything wrong with their heart. It's the same thing with subluxations. I have people come in, never had a pain in their neck, and take pictures of their neck. So can we go by symptoms to tell us how healthy we are?
Not always.
Not always.
Sometimes comes on so slow you don't notice.
You don't even notice. It happens to people all of a sudden they're like an old man and they're like this and like that. What happened? I'm so old now. So let's suppose that we function 100% at birth and then we function at 0% at death. And like we were talking about before, the kids have bountiful energy, right? They're just full of life. The life force is just coming out of them. They exude life, love, and you can bounce them off the sidewalk, they just bounce right back up. And as we get older, all the stresses of life start to build. More stress. The more stress we have, the more tension it creates in our body. It's more subluxations. The less we're able to adapt and respond. Before you know it, all of a sudden, 40 years old, and oh man, my back hurts. Did that back pain start the day before when you picked up that pencil?
No.
I get that all the time. I don't know, man. I was absolutely fine. I bent over to pick up the pencil. Then we take someone's history, and oh, I had 3 car accidents, 2 bankruptcies. My wife just left me 3 days ago. And you think it's a pencil? It goes back to the line. So if you went to a medical doctor, right, what would they do?
Medication.
Medication. Give them some drugs. Pain goes away, I feel better. But you keep on going down this road of decreased function. You just keep on breaking down. All right. Now, if you're lucky enough, or smart enough, or someone told you, go to a chiropractor. Right? Go to a chiropractor, just when you get those symptoms, and we do our best to do, and I think a lot of you experience this, is that we start getting the body working and functioning better. So instead of that breakdown, everything starts working. Nervous system, the joints are working, things aren't breaking down, the spine's not breaking down. Are we gonna end up here at that? Sorry to report to you what's gonna happen. We don't like to talk about it. We're gonna die. All right? Oscar Wilde said, I want to be like a candle burning bright. That's how it is for me. I've never stopped getting it. 66 years old, I've got a lot of trauma to my body. I'm going to keep on doing it as much as I can. I could be one of those people that don't. I don't want to. So when people go, oh, chiropractors, they want you to come for your whole life. You gotta believe it. If you want optimum function for your whole life, you need to get checked. So now, question, is vomiting healthy?
Yes.
End up eating some lo mein, end up with ptomaine, you puke your guts out, thank God, right? Is a fever healthy? Expression of health. You might feel like crap. You might feel sick. But why do we have a fever? Okay.
Well, it indicates something's not quite right in your body.
But anyway, fever's there to kill the germs. You don't wash your dishes. Is pain healthy?
Yes.
Again,
It's like an indicator.
it's an indicator. People who can't feel pain, totally, it's a horrible disease. And they burn themselves and they break themselves and they have no idea what's going on and they end up with all kinds of horrible infections. Pain is telling us, if I listen to my freaking pain, my wrist, when it happened, instead of probably better. So question, could you imagine going to a mechanic because your engine light is fine, just comes with a black tape? Is that any different than if you have a headache, you're just relying on that every time? Because believe me, if you have a headache, your cranial bones are off. And if your cranial bones are off, it's affecting your spinal fluid. It's affecting, causing stress throughout your whole body. Your body's not functioning correctly. So you can take the Tylenol and the pain's going to go away. But your body's not going to be functioning. So if you're lucky enough, again, luck, smart adjustments that are taking time. So in chiropractic, we talk about something called universal intelligence. And universal intelligence is that intelligence that the body has is that self-healing power. Universal intelligence is that balance in nature that works perfectly if we don't screw it up. So I love this example of back in the early 1800s, in the Yellowstone Park area, the ranchers were able to kill the wolves. They called kill the wolves because they were eating the sheep and cattle. Because of that, there was too much deer and elk. The natural balance broke down. The deer and the elk started eating the trees. The trees that lined the rivers started breaking down, and it affected the way the rivers flowed. But also, the birds didn't have a place to nest, so then there's a great influx of insects. It just turned into a big mess. And stayed like that for a long time, and then they started bringing the wolves back. And, within, I think, a few years, the whole ecology came back to being healthy. So what that example, it's just an example of how things work. It was balanced. So in chiropractic, right, we talk about innate intelligence, which is that there's a balance in ourselves, that our body has a fantastic ability to heal itself. Now, of course, sometimes there's a limitation of, if you fall, off a three-story building, it's gonna get, there's a limitation of how we could deal with a certain amount of force. But we are created self-human beings. And, unfortunately, there's so much stress in our system now, in terms of, pollution and food and kind of constant mental emotional stress, drive, all the stuff that we're doing, that it's a little overwhelming. Let's say. And all that stress causes these subluxations, and that doesn't allow the innate intelligence to express itself. So by keeping our body free of subluxations, we're allowing that body's inner wisdom, that innate intelligence. That's why we're here. So if we go over everything, we're talking about adaptation and response. But if we're subluxated, just stress, we're stuck in that fight. Also, feel the same way, and we just don't work. Right? I'm going to close. I'm trying to think of a specific story. We always tell a story about the little babies. Constantly, because it's so evident how we see them change. It's like, let's say, pushing a switches.
Flipping a switch.
Flipping a switch. It's amazing how when we flip a switch, by correcting the subluxations, all of a sudden these babies, they just come to life, just like that. Really, just like that. It's like amazing. All right. I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm going to tell a story of what happened to me this week. Where the patients called me, and this is great. It's not as heartwarming as a baby coming to life. But she called me, and she said, "Our dog hasn't peed in 48 hours, and oops, and cries out, and screams out in pain." And into all respects, and help us, and give us all the drugs, we still have some pee. Can you just maybe stop by and find something? So this cute little poodle named Cody, really sweet dog. And came over, and I could feel down in the sacral area that, it was off, like something was blocked. And he actually was really sweet, because he's got his hyper dog, but I started working on him, just totally like relaxed. Kind of trying to release the energy. And his tail wouldn't come. So as I worked, and I said, that feels better. And all of a sudden his tail went right up. And he went outside and peed and pooped. That's what they say about me. I'm number one to number two. But anyway, that was very gratifying, And they probably saved the dog's parents about $2-3 grand from them. That was a great chiropractic story. So love you all. I hope you learned something from this. And I really, please, let your friends and family know about chiropractic. We want a healthier world. Life is fun. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
All right, that was fun.
Very good.
I've done this how many times?